Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Everyone's looking for a way or learning how to develop a consistent bowling hook. But if you're an experienced bowler and only averaging, let's say, 170 or less, in other words, a bowler in the average range of bowlers throughout the world, or perhaps a little less, and you're serious about improving your game, you want a consistent release and a consistent bowling ball hook. Then you can line it up easier, hit the pocket more frequently, and help raise your scores. So some of the tips that we have to develop a consistent bowling hook, a few easy keys that we think you should focus on, but we really recommend you get out and see a coach, a certified bowling instructor. That really is the best way to have a trained pair of eyes standing with you in real time, watching you bowl and making comments and helping advise you on what you're doing. You'd be surprised how many bowlers think they're doing a certain technique with their release, with their bowling hand, and it really doesn't occur. In their mind they think that's what's happening, but in real time it is not. So you have to train your hand to do the type of release that you want to develop and make it as consistent as possible. First, you want to maintain consistent gripping pressure from start to finish throughout the entire arm swing cycle. I'll see bowlers grab a ball, not squeeze it early, but by the time it gets up to the back swing, they increase gripping pressure and really grab onto it, both the fingers and the thumb. We recommend that you keep more gripping pressure, 2 or 3 to 1 times as much gripping pressure on the pads of your bowling fingers as you do on the pads of the thumb, because we want the thumb to exit the ball quickly, don't we? We want the ball to exit right as your hand enters into the release zone, which is almost when your arm is vertical to the floor. That split second it's vertical, and that occurs sometime behind the back of your bowling sliding shoe to the toe. Usually around the shoelaces, the thumb should exit the ball. There still remains the ball on the finger pads, and then the finger pads do the quick rotational release action, which helps give you the axis tilt and the rev rate that you generate through a typical release you make. Next, you want to produce less finger rotation will help you produce a more moderate hook. More finger rotation, you'll tilt the axis more, and you'll get the ball to hook a little bit more. Less hook is easy to control. So if you're not already a person who hooks the ball a great deal, then no despair. If you can become a real good stroker player, control your ball speed, control your loft, control your angle to your target on the lane with the same amount of consistent releasing action, you can bowl pretty doggone well. And there's been a number of successful players over the years that are as good as anybody on the planet who use that type of release. Number 4, place your ball, when you hold the ball, place your hand completely on the side of the ball. That's kind of a beginning grip, release grip that we teach people to use. If their hand stays on the side of the ball, like in a handshake position or grabbing a suitcase, and it never rotates at all, you'll get it down in motion. It's the quickest and easiest way to teach someone to get a little bit of a hook on the bowling ball. But we actually prefer you get a little bit more underneath it for stability, and you can rotate your fingers 1 or 2 hours on the clock dial at the moment you release the ball after the thumb exits, and that will give you a more dependable and a more effective release action. You want to avoid overturning your hand and your whole bowling arm at the moment you release the ball. You'd be surprised how many people will actually turn their hand over the top of the ball, or their whole arm will go with it when they release the ball. We don't want that. You want to keep that inside edge of your bowling elbow close to your torso as it swings back and through. And just let the fingers rotate slightly at the release, and you'll do just fine. And of course, for a sharper hook motion, you want to start with the ball underneath your hand, on top of your palm of your hand, or even over underneath it more, and make a longer, more of a rotational release at the moment you let it go after the thumb exits. Keeping the wrist tilted forward in your release will help the thumb exit more quickly. The more you tilt your wrist back, or the wrist collapses, the longer the thumb is in and the less powerful the release is. So if you're having trouble with that and you want to get more hook, we recommend a wrist support device that props up the wrist. Some are adjustable to tilt the wrist a little and help you get that thumb out more quickly, place the ball, the weight of the ball falls onto the finger pads, and you make it a quick rotation. You'll get quite a bit of hook that way. Anyway, you can repeat some of these steps. You can work on them on the lanes. We hope some of this information helps you. There's an article we have called How to Develop a Consistent Bowling Hook that recaps this information. You might want to check through it. If you're one of those that likes to self-coach yourself and not invest money with a certified coach, but you know, sometimes not taking a shortcut and investing a little bit of money is the best way to go. Hope this helps. Thank you.